we're gonna start talking about The Last of Us episode 5, which came out last Friday. Um, so spoilers ahead. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. What'd you guys think?
I'll start
Kind of
it.
the end of
Go
the
ahead.
Pittsburgh story. Go ahead.
What an awesome episode.
The best
Yeah.
episode so
Best
far.
one yet?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
I know.
I
that
don't,
and
I
three.
don't know.
Josh, what do you think? No,
Well,
you
I
really
don't
said that. You said after you watched the third one that it was the
Yeah,
best
yeah,
episode
so
of television you've ever seen.
It is one of the best. Yeah. So I don't know if I can say, but like I'll say this: 5 was like the actual true The Last of Us. I feel like where like
Oh, yeah.
three didn't even feel like you're watching The Last of Us. You only see one zombie. That's it. So
Why
like,
is that?
huh?
Why is that it doesn't feel like The Last of Us?
Well, because you don't really see any zombies in it. You don't really get
Oh,
Joel
I
and
got
Ellie
you.
at all.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like it felt like a side thing, but like, so it's hard to compare. I've been debating with myself.
But I think that
So-
three is like a good storytelling, but it was also like a filler episode, if that makes sense.
yeah, in a way, but like I think like I don't know, just like the story between those two characters and the love they had and everything like that. I feel like it
It
could
was
be its own thing and like win awards and shit. And it would not surprise me. Like it was amazing, but this was like, you had that emotion at the end where you're sad. Obviously, we'll get to that. You get action, you get like storytelling, you get a bond between the main characters. Like there's nothing not to like from this episode. So I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts.
So I want to say real quick too. So I didn't play the game. So I didn't know how this episode ended, which I think made it even better. I didn't know that
Yeah.
Sam is the boy, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't know
And
that
Henry.
Sam was. I mean, as soon as he was bit, I will say that, and she puts her blood on him. I'll be honest, I didn't think that was gonna work at all. But I didn't think he was gonna get bit like that. I was like, oh
Yeah.
no, as soon as I saw that. So that really caught me off guard. And the other thing that I want to add is this episode really, really plays into Joel and Ellie's like kind of like friendship relationship. So yeah, their connection. It really plays into that, and I really liked it a lot.
Well, that's the good thing about like our perspective playing the game and then your perspective not playing the game.
Yeah, you get a little bit.
Even for those of us that have played the game and we're watching this weekly, when they do that part where they in the game he doesn't admit that he's bitten. She just wakes up in the morning and he's just a zombie. Like same way, like she kind of taps him and he's just standing there, and then obviously he's not deaf in the game either. So that's another like thing that they brought in, which is I believe that it was great. It made it 10 times more emotional and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And in the show they kind of steer you in the wrong direction, showing like because he shows that he's infected and then she cuts herself and puts the blood on, and then those of us that have played the video game and like I mean you don't know what to expect anymore, and she like tries to heal him saying that her blood is medicine. I'm like, no way. Like what if they do show that, and what if it actually does like cure him?
I thought for a second, dude.
I thought, and then literally when they wake up, and I'm like, oh god, like he is fine. And then right when she taps him, I'm like, damn it, dude.
Oh, so you
like,
guys got tricked a little.
yeah,
bit.
Oh,
I
they
had no
tricked
idea.
us. But see, like we knew he was bit where you didn't.
Okay.
So that's what tricked you, where we knew already. But like, yeah, so like basically in the game, Ellie goes upstairs, talks to Sam, and then Sam says like, why aren't you scared and stuff like that. Same thing that happens in the show. But then she leaves in the game. So she goes downstairs to go to sleep and he sleeps upstairs. But right when in the game, right when she leaves the room, he looks at his leg and you see he's bit. But he doesn't tell Ellie. So in the show, when she did the blood thing and put it on his thing, I was like, is this gonna work right now? Like this will change the whole thing.
I know. I'm like, I don't.
And that's interesting.
I
and me coming from the perspective not playing the game, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, there's no way that's going to work.
Yeah.
So I guess to kind of get both perspectives there and both worlds on it.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, yeah, definitely like watching it, knowing what's gonna happen. I mean, like, yeah, it still is great. Like, even if you spoil it in your head, but like when they add shit like that, like completely turns your brain upside down. You're like, oh well, like this has to happen. Like, how is it not gonna happen? And then you just get psyched out, and then it ends up going exactly how the game works. So I mean, those guys, man,
bring it back to
different.
the scene where they're in like they're about to, you think they might get captured. What is that group called, guys?
Hunters.
The hunters are kind of starting to lean in on Joel and Ellie and Sam and
Yep.
Henry. And there's like that's a whole part of the episode that like it kind of gets shadowed by that emotional ending. But like that was cool in itself. Like you said, Josh, you got action. I mean, this crazy horde of infected come out and this big huge beast that we had never seen before.
It's crazy.
That's all armored up and they're, gunning into it, and it's just unfazed by all of that.
It's absolutely great. Like you got to think that the one guy Perry, that's his name, right? Who plays Tommy in the game, he voices him. They do the like you get. I don't know if you guys watch the podcast after each episode. If you watch this week's, but
I didn't.
They're saying that town they didn't have an actual town, so they built it. All those houses and like that entire street is all like on a set. So it's at a studio, which is insane. Because like you're watching that, dude. Like, how would you have ever known that?
Yeah, you
at all.
Know that.
And they said that they actually had like old cars like getting plowed by the thing. Like it's insane. They said that they had over 100 extras like coming out of that hole, like zombies just going nuts. And the one thing that's crazy is I mean, dude, it's literally identical from the game. Like even the scene where it's not even when they go underground. I'll backtrack a little bit. When they go underground, that's like one of the longest fight scenes with the zombies like in that game, in my opinion. Like you're down there and they're just nonstop coming in at you, and you're like going through the sewer drains and all that. And in this game, they go and then Henry's like, "See, I told you, like it's empty." But they're in there somewhere. Like you can see, like having that school and all that stuff down there.
Ish,
Like
they were
Fedra drove them underground, so like they're not there. Obviously, they're infected somewhere. Like where could they be?
What do you think of the Ish stuff?
The what?
Ish.
What is that?
So that is when they're underground. You see the letters. So the school that's down there.
Oh, Ish was the letters.
Yeah, the letters from when. Yeah. So in the game, Andrew, there's these letters, right? And you want to pick them up and read them because there's like side stories, right? But they're really interesting. So there's a point where right after the Pittsburgh story, they end up going to the sewers or whatever. But right before that, you're picking up all these notes for Ish, right? This character who is taking care of all these kids underground because Fedra and the hunters and everything like that, it's just too dangerous. So they're hidden underground, and the kids like they're becomes an infection from someone sneaking out, and they all start getting like infected and everything. The story is so sad, but they actually tie it to the show. So like I knew right away when they went down there and saw like the doors painted like a castle. I was like, I'm like, are they actually doing this? I was shocked that they're doing it.
Yeah,
like I thought we were gonna see little kid walkers, or not walkers, zombies. I'm thinking
we did.
We do eventually, yeah. Which is pretty cool.
Which is insane because it's not in the game, obviously.
Yeah, no, dude. That little girl clicker,
dude,
oh
that
my
was
God.
terrifying.
Yeah.
That was the nastiest things ever. And they said that they had like they did auditions and they were just sitting there creeped out because they have all these like acrobatic like little kids coming in that can like twist their bodies and do all this nasty shit. And they said like, God, it was just so good we had to do it. And they made it like I didn't really pay attention because I watched it like at like 3 a.m. like one eye open, so I might have to go back and rewatch it. But I guess she had like a Blues Clues shirt on.
Yeah.
So it's like a little ass kid, bro. It was terrifying.
Andrew, what did you think of the bloater?
Is that what the big?
Yeah,
that's what they're called.
Yeah, 20+-year-old.
What did you think of that?
That was scary and gross. I mean, we kind of, they foreshadowed that the episode before with like, oh, we're just gonna not worry about that big thing underground. No, that's terrifying. And obviously it doesn't die in that episode. It's still just kind of hanging out.
There's many of those.
There's more of them.
That's like the first one that we saw.
Yeah, so those ones have been around for 20 years. So they've been around since the infection started. They never died out. And their whole body's armor. So like in the game, the best way to kill them is you got to throw Molotovs at them and then use a shotgun to kill like
nail
their
bombs.
weak spots. Yeah, nail bombs. They're a bitch to
I'm
kill.
pissed that they don't show any nail bombs. I'm waiting for that one
they
nail
might,
bomb.
Dude. They might.
I don't know. I'm really hoping for it. So
or smoke.
I just love how like they go to the city and they're just walking, talking, and then they start getting sniped at. He's like, he's
Yeah.
got shit aim, and then he goes up, sneaks in, same way you do it in the game.
So that's just like the game too, Andrew.
yeah,
So the 4 characters are walking. And they get shot
you know
at
what?
and get
I'll
out
be
of the
honest.
car.
I could kind of feel that watching that scene. Like
yeah,
that
but the other
seemed
thing
like
is
something
that
you'd.
in the game it's daytime, and then they were shooting this in the
okay.
daytime. The writers and directors were talking about it, and then they're like, it's missing something, and then they're like, it has to be nighttime. So then they redid the entire thing, and they're like, damn,
That's cool.
And with the fires dude in the background when the
oh, dude,
zombies come
so
out.
good. And they said that they did all that, but just the way that they're like even the way that I don't know her name. Fuck, I'm already forgetting. The girl,
Kathleen.
yeah, the leader, Kathleen, how she dies, great, because she's literally telling Henry, like, I know I'm killing Sam too. Like, kids die all the time, Henry. Like, all this shit, and then
Yeah, she did
dies
a
by the
really good
girl.
job of being
Yeah.
like a horrible person.
Yeah, because and I think that they do a great job starting the episode going back in time, even showing how Henry was watching Joel and Ellie like from that crash scene like on, and then they sneak in and do
Did
all
you
that
guys
stuff.
see that she got some flack on Twitter from some supermodel or something? And the supermodel was like, "Oh, if a warlord shouldn't be this big in a post-apocalyptic world," and like everyone like clapped back at like the like
That's
the
just so
supermodel,
stupid.
and was
No.
just like, "What are you talking about? Like that's part of her character. Like
Yeah.
she's obviously on top. Like that's part of the kid. Like she's a bitch and." She's, probably she's eating well because she's the power. Like, that's how it is.
Well, that's why in the episode 4 when she was on screen originally, I'm like, I don't really like her character. Like, she's like, it didn't come off as she's like, how did she get power? How is she in that position? And like, I feel like she's like a kindergarten teacher, but like the way that she talks, does she not sound like that?
That's
Kinda.
just who
This
she is.
episode,
She's in a couple of things.
yeah, this episode brings like her like just mowing down all those Fedra agents or whatever, the rats, and then it's like, holy shit, like she's nuts. And then she's like
yeah.
in the room like talking about how her brother was like, this is a box, and like she's obviously not right in the head.
Yeah, because I remember we said last week for episode 4 that we wanted to see where her character went next episode to see how we felt about her. So yeah, that's what I kind of want to ask you guys. Did you end up thinking her character was worth it? Like, do you think the
No.
story would have
Yeah.
worked without her?
I mean, he played a good role.
Yeah, she was good for the time she was there.
Okay. See, I kind of wish there was a little bit more. Like, I know there's that scene where she's in her childhood room and everything like that, but like, and she lost her brother, but I feel like it wasn't really
Well,
worth
Henry
it.
got him killed, remember?
Yeah, Henry got him killed, but like, basically, she's okay with killing kids, but her brother dying is like crossing the line. So it's like, I don't know. I understand.
I think like Aiden was saying though, it's more on that she just wasn't right in the head.
No,
Probably, yeah.
And then you got to also think like she wasn't the same mentally since her brother died, and then it ties into Henry killing Sam,
Yeah.
which is also insane. Like, if we want to jump right to it,
Let's
like,
get to it.
remember he mentions like when they're like holding the gun at him, he's like, I've never shot a gun, I've never injured someone, I've never killed someone. And he's like, that's what you're here for. I know where to go. You're going to be like the force that gets us there. And then he doesn't even hesitate to shoot Sam in the head.
He does. No, he does. Because remember, Joel
I mean,
tries to
yeah,
do something, and he
shoots
like,
his feet, and
which
then he
I
goes
liked
instantly.
that.
Yeah, it's great.
Built it up. You're like, oh fuck, like Ellie's gonna, die here. I mean, she's not actually going to.
Yeah,
but you think maybe she's gonna get bit again or something, and then you're right. Henry doesn't even like,
or he
takes one shot.
misses and shoots Ellie.
Yeah. But then he realizes like what he has to do, and
Yeah.
oh my gosh, and then he kills himself too. Like, well,
Yeah.
first he's pointing at Joel because he's an emotional wreck, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, is he
He's
gonna
in
shoot
shock.
Joel for no
Yeah.
reason?
Yeah.
And then
See,
just
and that's-
takes his own life. Oh goodness.
The craziest part is when I played the game, not even that long ago. I'm literally playing it. I'm just playing it like any other video game, and then that part happens. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was speechless. I literally looked around. I'm like,
Yeah.
what am I playing? Like, this isn't even like, this is literally a movie, and that was before it was even out. And I'm like, Jesus, man. I'm like, I don't even want to play this anymore. Like, that was insane. Like, wow, that's like, how do you even write that for a video game?
I'm not kidding. Like, because you're only with the characters maybe for an hour and a half, 2 hours, if that. Like, you're not with Henry and Sam that long in the game. But like when it happened, when I played the game, my jaw dropped. Like I'm like,
Yeah,
whoa! Like
I did
I
not
want to look
expect
up
that at
people's
all.
reactions of watching that or playing that for the first time because I was like, whoa! And I want to say the show did a great job doing it
So-
and they did it
Amazing.
just like the game.
Yeah.
Like in the game, Joel reaches for the gun and then Henry shoots, by his hand and everything like that. Like everything happens the exact same.
Mhm.
Everything. That whole scene compared to the game is identical. And they nailed it. And that actor playing Henry, his face
Yeah.
of shock, great. So they did a great job.
And you gotta take it even when Ellie like looks at him and she does that little like yelp.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's awful, man. It's like it's realistic as hell.
Dude, I
You
watched it with
can
Sydney and
tell.
she was in shock. She was in
Yeah.
shock when it happened. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, especially not knowing like playing the game, knowing that
Yeah,
he does that to
I
himself.
shed a
like,
tear, I think, or maybe a little
Yeah.
watery in the eye there. And,
No.
that was a sad moment.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, the fact it was that similar to the game is nuts. And like it still fucked me up. I mean, from watching from the game and watching for the show and different
Oh, yeah.
reasons, but like, yeah. And the fact that like when Ellie woke up and she tried to, go see Sam and Sam's deaf. So like he couldn't hear it. I thought that was really cool, like attention to detail
Mhm.
stuff, because he wouldn't know, obviously.
because he
can't
was
hear anything.
also he wrote on his little pad saying, "Do you think it's still you inside?"
Yeah.
And like
Which
it
is in the
obviously
game. That happens
is.
in the game too.
Yeah,
He
and
says
it
that.
obviously is still him inside. Like he's still deaf,
Yeah.
and he doesn't know until she touches him.
Yeah. God, dude. The show's so good.
But, yeah, I mean that's what people like. I'm like it's curious. Like imagine like talking to someone, not even Andrew, not playing the game, but like someone that has no idea what The Last of Us even is. Like they don't even
Yeah.
know that it's a video game. And like imagine them watching those. Imagine their reaction when they're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Well, no, and obviously, Aiden, you know where things are going next. From this point on,
Yeah.
it's fucking nuts.
Yeah,
So
I'm really excited for like the next episode and probably like what would it be? What
We're getting
episode
4
was that?
more.
5?
Yeah, we're getting 4 more.
I'm excited for 7. 7's probably gonna be really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I mean-
excited. I think it probably, I don't know, dude. It's tough with, again, comparing it to episode 3. I think you could say this is the best Last of Us episode. And then episode 3 is just like, I don't know. It's
Its
great.
own
It's just
little
great
thing.
TV. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like great TV. So
Yeah,
But yeah.
this is definitely my favorite episode. I forgot the best part is when Perry dies by the bloater.
Yeah.
When you die in the game as Joel, the bloater literally rips your face.
Yeah.
And that's like the ongoing death scene because like you'll die multiple times fighting them. And then they do that and it's like, no way, dude. Like
Yeah.
it's just so good. And there's so much going on, you're just hectic.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I just think they did
Joel's
a
up
great
there
job, man.
sniping him, which
Yeah,
happens in the
it's
game.
so good.
So
He's not
cool.
missing a shot.
Yeah.
I
so cool.
I also like that there's with this show you have so many different people watching it right now. Like we're watching it. I know my dad's watching it. Josh, I think your dad is. I found out
Yeah.
my grandma is watching it. Shout out
Yeah.
to grandma.
Yeah, teenagers watching it.
So everyone is on board with this, and I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but HBO is delivering right now. It's a solid show.
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
gonna win a bunch of awards. I can't wait.
But all right,
It
boys.
deserves-
Let's get into our Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey review.